Okay, my name is Hildos first. I'm an artist. I'm from the Middle East. I'm from Beirut, Lebanon. I just recently moved to Brooklyn, and this is my story. So here's how it goes. I was born in Beirut in an upper middle class family. And as long as I remember, whenever I wanted something, I usually used to get it. My dad, anything. I had tabs everywhere, at the grocery shop, the gift shop, anything. I had, like, my dad used to pay for anything. And the result of that, I had no budgeting know-how whatsoever. And reality started kicking when I started going to college. And this is where I decided to change my status from spoiled brat to independent, self-fulfilled. But that was not an easy road to, an easy ride, I can say. And even those things were starting to move, but they were moving at a very slow pace and a very hard pace. So what I started first doing is I decided to pay off a part of my tuition in college, and I worked as an assistant in the art department where I was a student, and I took some jobs, but I worked for free for my friends just to learn some, basic skills. And I explored my entrepreneurial skill by baking cakes and selling them to a restaurant close by. But of course, my dad paid for the expensive ingredients and the gas. In 1996, I graduated from college with a BFA. And I landed a job as an art teacher. End of the year, I was fired. Why? Well, because I was absent most of the time because I couldn't make it to class at 7 in the morning. I was teaching elementary school students. I was partying all night with the hangover and so yeah, so bye-bye. But I got a compensation. And with this compensation, money compensation, when they fire you, they need to give you a compensation even though it's your fault. So as a gift to myself, I did some, yeah, because I was I got a gift to myself, a trip to Europe, and a 2-month trip to Europe. But the trip didn't look like what I expected, because it turned out to be a very hectic, even though it was fun, because it was camping, staying in lousy hotels, eating lousy foods, waking up early, and I was not used to that. And on top of that, my passport and my ticket back were stolen in Barcelona. And that was the time when there was no e-ticket, so I had to go to the travel agency and do all that. We'll put a pin on that later. So anyway, but the thing is, the result of this trip, I came back with a different view. And I started thinking more about my future and my career. And what I did is, I talk a lot of computer language, I don't know why. So I deleted all my friends who were like spoiled like me, and I started like a new trend in my life, and I had an objective to become a graphic designer rather art teacher. So I did a training and learned computer skills and at a company, and then I started looking for a job. That was in 1998, and that was the time when both my parents retired and decided to move from our apartment in Beirut to their summer house. And this is where I lived with them. I used to live with them in 98. So I found myself homeless, jobless, and penniless. I was living from my car. I had all my painting and all my stuff in my car, some clothes in my friend's house, other stuff in my parents' house. And that was a really tough drill because unemployment rate was very high at that time. And it was not easy to find a job as a graphic designer. Lebanon is a very small country and you don't have a lot of opportunities. And I had to take like jobs, small jobs. They didn't pay well. Some people used to hire me, and it turned out to be that they wanted, you know, not to pay freelancers, so they hired me for a week or two, and they tell me, no, it's not going to work out. But they were just because if you pay a salary, it's cheaper than hiring a freelancer. But freelancing was not that good because even though you sign a contract, they didn't care. They used the stuff and they didn't even pay you. And also, I worked in a company that paid my salary, even though it was like a very meager salary in installments. Like a week I got 100, the other week 50, yeah, and that went on for 5 years. But finally, in 2003, I got a job as an activities coordinator. It was a full-time job, and it helped me move out and you know, get an apartment on my own and settle my financial situation. But then again, unfortunately, the school was not able to pay our salaries full, and I had to take, even though I was working full-time, including weekends, because you know you have to organize trips and parties for students as an activities coordinator. So I had to take another job, and I was working 20 hours a day and still hardly making ends meet. So that was my situation. And yeah, I'm selling my stuff, the good stuff. Yeah, so anyway, in 2006, that went on, like this drama went on till 2006. But in 2006, there was a war in Lebanon in July, and unfortunately, where I worked, the company closed, and I had to take a job as a career counselor. And this helped me a lot, because to be a career counselor, you need to go through a training and do career counselor to yourself. And what helped me with this job is I realized what is more important, and it's not, a job is not about money, it's rather about a career and having an objective. And when you have different perspective, when you have a career goal, things roll faster because you're not focusing on money, rather on an objective, on what do you want to become, where do you want to become, where do you want to go. And this helped me a lot. That doesn't mean that my credit cards were maxed out. They still maxed out. I still yeah, but I still landed a job in a very reputable company with a very high position, and I was able to pay my marketing and communications master's degree. And this like helped me also to land another job, which was better, and then another job which was even better. But mostly they were better paid rather than better for me career-wise. And this led me to spend more money on credit card again. So in 2001, I applied to SVA for the Milton Glaser course. If you know, of course, most of you know Milton Glaser. He's the one who did the I Love New York logo. And he's one of my favorite designers. And it was a 5 days course, and usually a lot of people apply, like around 300 or 400 participants, and he reads every essay and every application individually, and he chose 25. I was among them. And when we asked him what is the criteria for choosing candidates, he just said, I chose the people who wanted a change. So this is when I realized I really wanted a change. And when I came back to Beirut, this was like, you know, always popping in my head, you need a change and you need a change.
and I was also accepted in a mentor-mentee program. And when my mentor, she asked me, what are you looking for for your company? What is your objective for your company? So the first thought came to my head, I don't care, I don't want anything. And the funny thing, the CEO of the company was my brother. So it was hard for me just like to leave this company. So it took me 6 months, but I finally left. I chose getting out my comfort zone, and I chose working for pennies because I knew now it's working for pennies, but at a later stage, if you do what you love, you will not be working for a day. That's really, and you will make a lot of money. And for me, the starving artist doesn't exist anymore. I can give you a list of artists who make a lot of money. So I was back to square one. I was sued by most of the credit card companies because I had 3. My bank, my cell phone bill company, my cell phone company, and then I couldn't pay my rent. So in order to get out of the house, I used to tell my doorman to distract the landlord. So I used to run out of the building, and my friend used to wait for me in the car. So that was really tough. And but I knew that this was a transition phase, and luckily I did a lot of smart stuff. I sold a lot of stuff. I sold most of my stuff were on eBay and a lot of others. But I worked smart, and I was able to pay off all my debts and move to New York. Now here I'm on my own, like in Beirut, like I had my parents, my brother, I had the safety cushion, but here, like I'm on my own, and I'm learning again to budget, and that's New York. It's a hard thing to do here, but really I feel that that money is just a means and not the end. And again, I insist the starving artist myth is obsolete, and that you have to work smart rather than work hard. And I would like to finish my... Oh, this is me wearing the same outfit that I'm wearing right now. This is the song from How to Make It in America, the series. So this is how I wanted to finish mine. And Paulo Coelho used to say, work is a blessing when it helps us to think about what we are doing, but it becomes a curse when its sole use is to stop thinking about the meaning of our life. So that's it.